The Manhattan Federal Courthouse became ground zero for a massive shakeup in the entertainment world on the fifth day of Sean Diddy Combs' explosive trial. The courtroom, already on edge, fell completely silent as the side door creaked open, and in walked none other than Justin Bieber. Yes, that Justin Bieber. Gasps shot through the gallery like lightning. Journalists froze mid-sentence, cameras clicked in disbelief, and even the judge seemed briefly stunned. Diddy's eyes shot up from the defense table, confusion flashing across his face, quickly replaced by full-blown panic. The protege he once molded, the same kid he helped bring into stardom, had just walked in to testify against him. This wasn't a scheduled witness. This was a bombshell. The trial had already been boiling with Cassie Ventura's raw testimony, and that damning 2016 hotel surveillance footage still fresh, but Bieber's arrival sent the tension skyrocketing. He wasn't just a witness, he was a turning point. As Bieber raised his hand and took the oath, Diddy visibly unraveled. His hands quivered, his eyes welled up, and a soft groan escaped him. This was the sound of a man watching his empire collapse in real time. Prosecutor Emily Johnson stood tall, her tone sharp and deliberate. Today, the court will hear from someone who lived through the defendant's manipulation firsthand. Someone whose bravery will help uncover the true scale of Mr. Combs' predatory influence. The energy in the room was electric. Even Cassie, sitting silently in the gallery, sat straighter. Justin, dressed in a plain dark suit, didn't carry his usual swagger. This wasn't the pop prince, this was a survivor. His expression was firm, haunted, and determined to speak his truth. For Diddy, the sight of Bieber taking the stand was the death knell. This was no longer about public opinion, it was about consequences. When Bieber began to speak, the courtroom and the entire world held its breath. I first met Sean Combs when I was 15, back in 2009. He offered to mentor me. The word mentor hit like a slap. From the defense table, Diddy clenched a stack of papers, his knuckles turning white. Bieber described meeting Diddy during a promo tour in New York. My manager said being around people like him would elevate my career, Bieber said. At first, things seemed harmless. Studio tours, dinners, advice. But underneath, he said, was something much darker. Looking back, the grooming started right away. The jurors squirmed in their seats. Cassie wiped a tear from her eye. Diddy, Bieber said, often presented himself as a father figure or protector. He'd invite the teen to his home for what he called music boot camps, but the reality was twisted. At night, he'd come into my room, sit on the bed, put his hand on my knee or shoulder. He'd call me his special project. Then came the 2009 party. I was 15, the youngest person there. He made everyone toast to my innocence. Drugs, sexual acts, a crowd of adults. He kept his hand on my neck the whole time, saying I had to learn how the industry really works, Bieber said. At the end of the night, Diddy told him, "You passed the test. Most kids run away, but not you." Over time, Bieber claimed Diddy dragged him deeper into a world of manipulation, introducing him to club life, giving him alcohol, forcing him to observe illegal deals. He said I needed to build a tolerance, Bieber recalled. But the darkest part came in 2010. Diddy flew Bieber to Miami under the guise of a studio session. But there was no studio, Bieber said. Just a party, adults, substances. I was 16. He hesitated, but continued. He pressured me to drink. When I refused, he said I was embarrassing him, that he was making me into a man. Then came the breaking point. I was led to a room. I couldn't fight back, I was too out of it. Multiple people. Diddy was watching, giving orders. He told me he owned my career. The courtroom was silent. Jurors were visibly shaken. Cassie wept openly. Diddy sobbed. This wasn't just a testimony. This was an indictment of the entire industry. And as hashtags like #JustinSpeaksOut and #BelieveSurvivors exploded across social media, it became clear the music mogul once thought untouchable was facing a long overdue reckoning. Shouting, "That's not how it happened. You wanted this." Diddy suddenly lunged toward the stand, but court officers grabbed him just in time. "You ungrateful little," he screamed before Judge Carter snapped, "Get him out of here." As Diddy was physically dragged out of the courtroom, he twisted back, yelling, "I have the pictures, I have the videos. They'll see who you really are." Bieber, face soaked with tears, looked him dead in the eye and said calmly, "I was a child, Sean. Any video you have is just evidence of what you did, not me." Music beat swells, even after Diddy's removal. The tension in the courtroom hung heavy. Bieber wiped his face, took a breath, and insisted on going forward. His reaction says it all. He still thinks he owns me. But he doesn't. Bieber exposed how Diddy used explicit material, photos, videos, even clips from events like Miami to keep people under his thumb. He never had to say it out loud. But the threat, it was always there. A year after Miami, Diddy showed him a clip and called it protection. "I threw up and ran out. That was the start of my addiction issues, trying to bury the shame," Bieber revealed. Prosecutors displayed texts from Diddy laced with veiled threats over the years. "You can't hide forever. JB, silence is golden. I saw your new album, Stay Smart." Bieber nodded. He reminded me he could end my career whenever he wanted. Asked why he hadn't come forward sooner, Bieber replied, "I was Justin Bieber, the messed up pop star. He was Sean Combs, the music mogul. Who would have believed me? The final push came just 3 weeks ago when a parent reached out concerned their 16-year-old son had been invited to Diddy's home for a career opportunity. Bieber told them to keep him far away. Within 24 hours, Bieber received anonymous threats including a stolen frame from the Miami tape. Even in custody, his people were still working. That's when Bieber knew his silence wasn't protection, it was enabling. He reached out to Cassie. She helped connect him with prosecutors. That decision changed everything. Bieber's testimony wasn't just personal, it exposed a pattern. He spoke of a 2011 case involving a young Chicago rapper. Same blueprint. Mentorship turned manipulation, parties, leverage. I tried to warn him, Bieber said, but Diddy found out. The next day an edited Miami photo was anonymously posted online. It was a message, a warning, a threat. Bieber explained how Diddy didn't always need to blackmail directly, the industry did it for him. Executives, artists, PR teams, they all protected the machine. The silence wasn't accidental, it was orchestrated. Bieber's closing words to the jury were sharp. Behind every Diddy hit, there's a victim. Behind the wealth, the fame, the parties, there's pain. Don't let his legacy hide what he's done. Diddy was brought back in restraints, hair disheveled, eyes swollen, shirt damp with tears. He muttered denials under his breath. Then Bieber looked him in the eye one final time. You didn't mentor me, you groomed me. I didn't succeed because of you, I succeeded despite you. Diddy collapsed, sobbing uncontrollably. I loved you all, he cried out. I was preparing you for the real world. Bieber didn't flinch. That's what Redditors say, that abuse is love. But we see you now, Sean. That moment, the complete breakdown, became the trial's most unforgettable turning point. As medics rushed to attend to Diddy, Bieber walked over and embraced Cassie. The two stood together in quiet defiance, a united front, a symbol of survival. Outside, the media exploded. Hashtags like #JustinSpeaksOut and #DiddyExposed trended across the globe. Courtroom sketches of Diddy's collapse went viral within hours. Other victims began coming forward. Randy B. Singer detailed being drugged at a 2008 Diddy party. A producer revealed being forced into freak-offs. A model posted photos of bruises from 2015. The entertainment industry scrambled. Universal Music Group suspended ties with Bad Boy Entertainment. Diddy's music vanished from streaming platforms. His fashion line's deals were cut. Then came the bombshell. The FBI announced an expanded investigation into Diddy's empire, citing potential RICO violations, interstate trafficking, and years of systematic abuse. Legal analysts warned, if convicted on all charges, Diddy could face life in prison. Public reaction was overwhelming. Hailey Bieber posted, "I've never been prouder of Justin. His bravery is giving others freedom." Lady Gaga tweeted, "Survivors, your voice matters. The shame is not yours." A man from Detroit went viral after sharing, "Justin saved my life. I finally told my story." Mental health hotlines across the country reported a spike in calls. Thousands of survivors, inspired by Bieber and Cassie, were finding the courage to speak up. Anonymous accounts began naming other industry figures. A cultural reckoning was now underway. Diddy's legal team held a messy press conference. They didn't deny Bieber's claims, just said their client was under medical care. Prosecutors, now backed by overwhelming testimony and evidence, moved into the next phase of the case. Their path to conviction looked unstoppable. Outside the courthouse, a candlelight vigil grew. Signs read, "We believe survivors," and "The silence ends now." From a private location, Bieber and Cassie watched, emotional but strong. This was more than a trial now. It was a movement. The fifth day hadn't just shattered Diddy's career, it sparked a historic shift in the culture. During victim impact statements, one young artist stood up and said, "I came here chasing a dream but left with nightmares. Today reclaim my story." A former Bad Boy intern added, "We stayed quiet because we thought no one would listen. Justin and Cassie proved us wrong." Finally, Diddy stood weak and broken. "I'm sorry for the pain I caused," he muttered. "I thought I was guiding them. I see now I was wrong." But his words were empty, drowned out by the gravity of the evidence and the sea of severe voices. Social media lit up with hashtags like #BelieveSurvivors and #EndTheSilence. One viral post read, "Diddy's fall is just the beginning. Hollywood, clean your house." The trial had exposed not just a man but an entire system. Executives, enablers, industry icons, they were all on notice now. As night fell, candles glowed outside the courthouse. Cassie and Bieber survivors turned symbols of justice stood strong, their eyes wet with hope. The question now isn't whether Diddy falls, he already has. The real question is, who's next? Because, as one survivor's sign said, "Our silence ends today."